All right.
Talking about those, I think we should segue into something else.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. You're like a plant.
I was like, let's do it. Come on.
Here we go. We're gonna go to Rocker.
I was gonna say, why don't we go to yours?
My topic.
Talking about
drugs.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, you're right. My topic was gonna be about should weed. Speaking of legal drugs, should weed be legal?
Okay.
Now,
Well, it is in some states.
Right, including Washington, Colorado, and I think Oregon is trying to make it legal. California is medicinal.
Okay.
I'm talking about legal,
recreational.
just like it is. Yeah, recreational weed.
Like in Colorado.
Legal.
Yeah.
Yes, like in Colorado, like I just said.
You said that.
You cut out.
up.
Sorry.
Well, I would say I advocate for yes. I think it should. Now, there's a lot of different reasons why I think it should. First off, there's been no deaths with overdosing of marijuana, where there has been deaths of overdosing with something legal like alcohol, for example, or legal like prescription drugs, like we were just talking about.
Right.
I think that there's a lot of benefits to marijuana itself. I think that there's two major, but there is two major chemicals within marijuana. One is CBD and the other one is THC. And a lot of people are obviously familiar with the THC side, which is the whole, you get, your head high, you feel, groovy and stuff. But the CBD side, I think, is the part that we need to put a little bit more focus on and see the benefits that are there in the CBD side, because the CBD can be extracted outside of that whole marijuana, and you can go do the oils like you see the children probably doing right now, where they're reducing the seizures. But I think, though, that when it comes to just legalizing and making it recreational for marijuana itself, I think that there's other drugs out there that are worse right now that we could be taking, like Prozacs and drugs that a lot of children, like teenagers are taking as of right now.
That are legal.
That are legal. That, I think have a way worse effect over, the mind or, the individual themselves. But there's health benefits to it all, too, to be honest, which is a big deal. Like I was trying to say, that CBD side, that's the big health side. So there's, like I was stating, there's the recreational side of the marijuana. Okay, cool. That's good, too. I also like the medicinal side more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, the medicinal side, it shows so far that, it helps with seizures and all kinds of things. It also helps economically. I mean, they're actually starting to come out with the historicals of how it's produced more income, produced jobs, and all kinds of stuff in these places. So I do agree that, and I'm big on, you do you and I'll do me, okay? So I don't want someone to tell me what I can and can't do. It's a free country. If I want to go, there you go. But if someone wants to go and smoke pot and it's not going to harm me, go for it. Why should I sit there and dictate that? Or a government dictate that? So that's how I kind of see it.
I like the part that you were saying too. Economically, like it's really good for us. I mean, look at how much that they were able to tax in Colorado in like the first year that had happened. They made serious amounts of money they put back into their infrastructure. Millions. And not just that, it reduced also violence in the state, which is like another thing to look at. If you're ever smoking and you feel high or whatnot, you're the last person that feels like, I want to go out there and go get crazy and beat the shit out of somebody. You're like, I'd rather just fucking chill here. Play some.
How many times have you fought a blaze person versus a drunk person?
Never. The guy's a drunk person. Every time you ever in type of a scrap, it's always a drunk person. That high guy's like, nah, dude, man, let's just be friends, man.
It's really comical when you hear someone try to be like, yeah, weed is just bad and it should be illegal, and no, alcohol's okay. And it's like, well, what perspective are you coming this on? Are you coming this on because the current status quo says that weed is bad and alcohol is good? Like, where are you coming from?
It's actually kind of funny, man, because I was like in Carrollton, which is a local city down here in Georgia, and it's a small city, country city, and I was inside of this used bookstore, and I saw this old poster from about, I think it was the 40s or the 50s, and it had this evil-looking demon guy on it, and it said, like, marijuana parties. It was like, what happens at marijuana parties? Lust, sex, sin. I was like, this is crazy, bro. Like, this is for real? Like,
how much is this?
Well,
But-
magic
but-
used to be.
It was like you were gonna be some evil demon spirit thing if you ever even try to attempt doing anything like that. It was crazy.
So
All right,
nuts.
so we're in agreement. Everyone here has smoked weed before, or can we say that?
I don't know if we can say.
I-
We can't
All right.
say.
Well, I'm just
No
saying,
comment. No
metaphorically,
comment.
if you did, I'm just saying, does this sound anything? Because I'm reading some of the side effects that they're saying. Because I'm trying to look at the side effects and
Yep.
the. All right, short-term effects: sensory distortion, panic, anxiety, poor coordination of movement, lowered reaction time after initial up. The user feels sleepy or depressed. Increased heartbeat. I don't know. All right,
All
long
of those are real.
long term. This is long term effects. Reduces resistance to illnesses, suppressions of the immune system, growth disorders, increase of abnormally structured cells in the body, reduction of the male sex hormone, rapid destruction of lung fibers and lesions, reduced sexual capacity, studies difficulty, reduced ability to learn and retain information, apathy, drowsiness, lack of motivation, personality and mood changes, and the inability to use things clearly.
And increase pizza consumption.
Yes.
That
But I bet you if you were to read
If
the
you were to
alcohol,
take it, I don't know.
if you were to read the alcohol side effects, I would imagine they would be
Well, that's
twice
what
as
I'm-
long.
Yeah,
That's what
I'm
I'm
just
trying to
saying.
say. Is like, look at what we do have that is legal, and alcohol
Right.
is legal, and look at how like aggressive alcohol is poisoning your body and destroying your body, and and that's there. People have that and go right to the store and go pick that up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now, there would be a
Because-
lot of people that would disagree with everything I just said, though.
Well, that's what I was
What
going to
the-
say too, because like I was
Yeah.
talking about before, those two different chemicals that are major chemicals in marijuana are CBD and THC. And CBD, which is one of the major chemicals in it, is anti-inflammatory. It's anti-cancerous, anti-tumors. It's
So what
you
you're
know,
saying is take
and-
that out of it instead of just smoking it.
it reduces nausea and vomiting, and that's why it's good for those cancer patients and for those seizure patients. It's combats anxiety and depression disorders. CBD,
Right.
not THC. So I mean, that's why I was saying like there's that fine line between the medicinal side of marijuana, the recreational side of marijuana for me, because like there is a lot of medicinal purposes for marijuana and even just CBD itself, extract. But I think that there is the room for abuse with anything, even like
Oh, yeah.
alcohol. That recreational marijuana I could see that also being abused too as well. So like
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of like a fine line for me. Like of course I want medicinal marijuana for sure. Not that there won't still be abuse with medicinal marijuana. I think that it should be, recreational too. I think that if we've got something like alcohol, that should be recreational. It should be taxed like crazy. I just think that we need to be wary of the abuse of anything and everything.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, not even alcohol that's out
Or
there.
everything and nothing.
That's the only thing I can say.
There
Like,
you go.
yeah, I'm good for it. Let's go for it. But also, let's always be weary that everybody's not getting super crazy out there.
In Seattle, it is recreational, and like Ian was saying, the economics of it all. Like we talked about taxes and how it pumps more money into the economy. It gets people off the streets and buying it. It takes the power out of the drug dealers' hands, puts it back into the society's economy.
Yep.
The other great thing is cops now, they don't have to worry about it. I
Yeah.
mean, they have to, but before, when they had to like bust anybody when it was rampant, it's a process. You're paying. You really want your tax money paying for a guy who happens to smell like weed, to have like the paperwork be done. He's got to sit there, fill it all out. Like, are we using the cops' time as efficiently as possible? Like,
this
is that
one
worth
thing
it?
too. Is that I think that was kind of a business, man. Because if we look up stuff, the prison system is a business, and
Of course.
and I think that there was high amounts of there was an article I was reading that said that there was high amounts of incarcerations based off of little petty drug situations like this, like you had a little joint or you had a little dime bag or whatever it be that the person had, and that there were so many arrests and people in jail because of these little things. It was like that to me just sounds like that's just a company. It's like, let's make it really easy for these people to go to jail so that we can make money, and now that that's starting to go away and it's more recreational, yeah, it eases up the job of the cop. Yes, it's going to reduce how many people are going to prison or jail, not prison, but jail, getting jail time for something that's, that should be legal around the United States. The only reason why I feel like it's not is just because of the perspective we held in a society at an early at our earlier years, back in the 20s to 50s, where it was like I just said, that poster. It was this crazy stuff going down. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be a demon if you do this kind of thing. It's like, oh gosh, like it's just
yeah. I was watching Cops.
Oh, surprise!
And one of the guys on there, he got caught with just like I guess like a half an ounce of weed or something like that, and they said that like, oh, since you're under like an ounce now with the new laws or something like that, we're just going to take you down to the county jail, process you, and then do some paperwork, and then you just get out or something like that. So he was just like, the cop seemed relieved that he didn't really have to do a whole bunch of paperwork on it or anything like that, and he was just like asking him, now you're going down there. He's like, do you have any more on you? He's like, oh, I got some in my sock. Like, He's like, really? He's like, really? How much, man? How much? He's like, oh, just like a gram. He's like, oh, okay. So I can go back on my word. And he's like, I'll just take you down process. Like, you just saw a look on his face. Like, it looks like it's a problem for cops, like a lot more.
Yeah. I don't think they like
and like you're saying, though, it kind of seems like they don't care. They don't want to.
They don't really care about weed. They're like, yeah, man, you're gonna run. They always go like, man, you ran from me because of this much weed. You ran from me because of this. He's like, I could have shot you, man. He's like that. Yeah. Like, they're going crazy. Like,
yeah, never run from. That's funny.
It's just not smart.
Yeah. He's like, over this much weed, really? He's like, come on.
I wanted to throw a little bit of a different spin on it. Now, of course, marijuana and everything.
That's funny.
We're talking about legalizing it now. Hemp can actually be used to make multiple things, not just smoking. And we're talking about the medical side and everything of it. But hemp can make paper, clothes. I mean, there's just a laundry list of things that it could be used for. So
I think you're making us sound like a bunch of hippies.
Shampoo.
Well, pretty much.
Ear and hemp shampoo.
Let me go get my tie-dye shirt.
A bunch of goddamn liberal hippies.
Well, I was just saying, that's like another one of those things, though, where I think it was like, that was another like a monopoly in companies wise to shut down the whole hemp business. Like that was that whole side just trying to turn your whole mind away from the marijuana side, the marijuana plant as a whole, from the hemp to the CBD to the THC to any of and everything, all the properties that it could give. I think they were just trying to just keep us away from it. And now it's just, we're at a different point where we kind of, people are thinking for themselves a little bit more and not having to be told like this is the way it is. They're like, oh, okay, that's the way it is. And well, actually, I'm kind of experiencing something a little different. So I'm gonna now have the courage to at least tell you I differ from you. My opinion.
I don't
feel like.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know if I agree with it being a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I tend to that's not. I don't really go that way when I think about why weed is illegal. I think it's politics. I think there's a strong presence in America that feels that it's bad, and I think politics are afraid to go against the majority green of it, regardless of all the stats that come out and facts. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why it's been so slow moving. I don't know if it's this conspiracy of it's business, we got to make money, because there's lobbyists, but I'm not too sure like how much money it's on the table here in this case.
I think there'd be a bunch. Honestly, I think the government can make a lot. I mean, has anybody ever looked back on like when they legalized like drinking? Like, so I remember when it was illegal and people were making down in cellars and stuff like that, alcohol. I wonder how much money they made, like the economy made off of that.
That's my they're gonna make money if they make it legal. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, I don't think it was kept illegal because of conspiracy like companies trying to take. I don't know. I don't really buy that. But
Clay, I kind of wanted to know though. So since you're in a city that it's legal recreationally and medicinally, do you see people just walking around on the streets smoking a joint or something of that sort?
No, I mean, you smell it naturally, but like it's just like liquor. It follows it's very similar to I mean, they modeled their laws against the liquor and trying to make it as similar as possible, because you can't walk around unless you're in Savannah, Georgia, but you can't walk around with open liquor and be drinking. That's illegal. And it's the same with smoking a joint. You can't just be walking around smoking a joint. It doesn't mean you don't see people intoxicated walking around or having flasks or whatever, but and you also see and smell weed here and there. And so I mean, and it's hard to enforce. How are you gonna, like, you smell it, you don't know where it's coming from. There's no like green smoke as opposed to like normal smoke. Like it looks like a regular joint. You can vaporize, like it's there. And so I have a bigger problem with just like having my pregnant wife walk behind someone who's smoking in public. Like, I'd rather see that eliminated or like contained in some way. Yeah. Because like I feel like that does more harm than seeing someone smoke weed.
Yeah.
Do you see more tie-dye shirts?
No, you do not. You do not see more tie-dye shirts. I think you see a boost in the economy. I think you see less illegal drugs being sold. And the other argument, I'm trying to play devil's advocate and put myself in shoes in a more conservative mindset. And I think that a lot of people would say, well, it's a gateway drug. What do you think about that? Or they smoke and they go get behind a car. Well, look, they can drink and get behind the car. We're not changing anything there. And in terms of gateway drugs, I would argue that painkillers are a much more susceptible gateway drug than marijuana. Painkillers are being crushed up, bought over the counter or whatever, and being used as heroin, I believe. And so, why is it painkillers in this conversation as opposed to marijuana? I have less worry about
Sudafed,
marijuana.
right? Yeah, Sudafed people used to make.
Yeah, you guys know this better than I, but it's Sudafed painkillers being crushed up and used just is it heroin or is it like a meth?
It's meth.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's one of the key ingredients in meth. Yeah.
Well,
the state regulates it and everything, and when you come and buy it, you can only buy 3.9 grams a month.
But they're finding ways to get more than that, and then have a cheaper version of meth.
Getting their friends to show their ID too, and grabbing more of that. But
and this is this, and then what I believe where I got the mix up with heroin is I believe in the 80s the same thing happened where a cheaper drug came on, they got it, or it was expensive. And then someone made the effects of it cheaper, thus that's how heroin got in, right? So we look at these over-counter medicinal things being much more factually gateway drug associated than marijuana has ever been.
Yeah.
Well, now, I was gonna also say too, I know drinking. Sorry, I know drinking's legal and everything like that, but how's it gonna affect people that work? I know you don't drink and go to work and everything like that because they can be like, oh, you can, you can, but I mean, I'm just saying what if you smoke and you go to work and everything like that? Can they fire you for that, or something like?
I think so, especially now because it's so early.
Now, what if you don't smoke and then go to work, but you've smoked before, you smoke when you get off and everything like that, but you're not high when you go to work, and they test?
It's okay because it's not federal and it's state mandated. It's fuzzy. I know that I know that Calvin, I believe, can still get fired. He's a cop, a friend of ours who's a cop. I believe he can still get fired if he were to smoke.
Yeah.
Weed.
I think there's still.
Really?
So it can come down. They could say no, you can't smoke weed.
Even if it's federal, but what if it's federal? Do you think?
If it's federal, we're talking about a different story. Because naturally, I don't know. It's it just takes time. Because I just think people are still whoa, I don't know how long this thing's gonna last. So for right now, don't do it.
Right.
So maybe in 10 years, people will be like, yeah, it's whatever.
So the reason the guy I was talking about, what I was thinking about before when we were talking about the conspiracy theory is Harry Anslinger is the guy I was referring to. He was he became the leader of the Bureau of Narcotics back in the 30s when weed actually became federally illegal. Some of the comments that he was making about it, because this is the guy that was going to be the pretty much defining factor of whether it was going to be legal or not. He was classifying what's considered a stage 1 drug. So at the time, he was fighting against things like cocaine and opiates, and he knew it wasn't going to be enough to build the agency that he wanted. So he added on there marijuana, and he added on there with his own personal quotes as well with it, which are marijuana is an addictive drug which produces in its users insanity, criminality, and death. Reefer makes darkies think they're as good as white men. Marijuana leads to pacifism and communist brainwashing. You smoke a joint and you're likely to kill your brother. Marijuana is the most violent causing drug in the history of mankind. Now, this isn't conspiracy theory. This is the guy that was leading the Bureau of Narcotics back in the 1930s, and this is why federally it's illegal as of right now, is because of this man himself. And not just him, but he was one of the leading...
Do you know his address?
No.
Okay.
He was the leading charges of it.
Can you repeat that one line with the darkies?
Yeah. A reefer makes darkies think they're as good as white men. I'm telling you. So there's that's not his only comment. He made another comment that it was anytime blackies smoke reefer, they think that they can have sex with our white women.
Can we just unpack the racism in there?
I'm just not even just the racism. Look, he said listen, not even the racism. Let's talk about if you smoke marijuana, you're likely to kill your own brother. What the fuck?
Brother, right?
No,
fellow man.
Your brother.
Not your sister.
I think
Seriously, is he talking about brother, like actual sibling, or brother, like your neighbor?
Maybe it's humanity. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no clue there. But he also said it was the most violent drug in existence. Like, I'm telling you, it was just a staple mark by a person that had a really bad taste in his mouth, or had an agenda, looking to grow
if you
his
want to
own,
kill a pizza.
looking to grow his own agency, knowing that cocaine and opiates was big, but wasn't big enough to grow his agency the way he wanted. So what was the next biggest thing out there he could do? Marijuana. It's a huge industry for him to start tackling and start growing his agency bigger than.
I'm lost. How is this connected? He's the head of narcotics, so he's in charge of making
Bureau of Narcotics.
So he's in charge of saying what's legal and what's not legal.
Right, essentially, yeah, and then tackling against too the pretty much.
Connect the dots for me because I am lost. How is this beneficial for him to make it illegal?
It can exactly. Job security, building expansion of the business that he's working at, because now he's got a whole nother drug to tackle that's illegal, that's more widely used than cocaine and opiates, which are not as widely used as the marijuana was. So it's like, now I've got a freaking wide open industry that I can go tackle.
Okay, so I could see that at the time in the 30s.
Yeah.
But what I was describing as like anti-conspiracy theories, like I don't think that was the reason why it has stayed illegal for so long. I think that lasting impression of the 30s, much like a lot of things that we are dealing with today that are old and outdated, like have just lasted because that's what the status quo was. I think people are like, no, we heard stories, it's bad, you don't do it. And it's like, well, let's think for ourselves for a second here. Let's like really like break it down. That's crazy. Like, he lost all credit in that one line where he was using the inappropriate term to describe a black person.
No, he lost credit with all those quotes he did.
Well, yeah, but like that thing, that just did it for me. Like, it was just like, oh my god, you like
just put it over the edge.
Yeah, that just.
But I'm telling you, it's like that was a big effect of why it even started becoming illegal here in the United States in the first place. Because before that, it wasn't illegal. There wasn't any federal laws about it being a thing that you couldn't do. You know, so it was something that everybody was doing. I mean, you got to think about it at that time.
Yeah, you just talk about old people. I remember when a dime bag used to cost a dime.
That's why I was originally termed it.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to know that Steven is a drug dealer, okay?
Yes, the bad boy himself.
Legally.
A legal drug dealer.
Legal one.
Hey guys, did you know that this episode was brought to you by Facebook.com?
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
/Maelstrom Gamers.
Oh, there you go.
If you guys go to Facebook.com/Maelstrom Gamers, you can see all of our posts about our videos and all of our comments and our community.
There it is.
Get involved. Talk. We got some cool people talking about our stuff. They like to hear what you're saying. They talk about it. We talk to them. It's really cool. Go to Facebook.com/Maelstrom Gamers. Like us on there. And join in on the discussion.
And you get to see Rocco without his shirt on.
You're also going to be able to see Steve-O do his dare.
Oh, yeah. I still got to do that.
Yeah.
What? Remind us, what's the dare?
I found a loophole with that one, so I'm going to do it, yeah.
What's the dare?
I forgot. He's got to go order a non-existent piece off the menu.
Find that, and I'll throw that on Twitter.
Yes.